My mind and body has produced thousands of new cells to give me the greatest advantages possible. I am born anew, revitalized and full of energy. I'm rare and valuable. I'm unique in all the universe. Today, I push myself to my limits. I use the skills and knowledge each and every day. I began the day with success, and I end the day with success. I'm clear on my goals, and I see myself reaching them. Thus, I realize my infinite potential. I smile, I laugh. I have become the greatest person in the world. Good morning.
Good morning.
Today is a great day because it's the class of 2017 here at Willow Elementary Middle School, isn't it? I can remember when this school was basically an elementary school. I'm here this morning because this is my small way of giving back to the students of Cleveland, for which I served for over 30 years. And those were 30 good years. And then I knew it was time to move on to do something else. But my love for students, education, has not stopped because I've left the Cleveland School. I thank Mrs. Rice for inviting me to share with you just for a few moments. And I'll tell you what, if you go to sleep, you're going to miss it because this is going to be over in about 10 minutes. To this class, when you were first born, you were given a blank canvas
Yes.
to paint your life story. And you started at birth, and you will continue painting your mural of your life. My opening was what we call a daily stroll. And I learned that as a third grade student in Montgomery, Alabama. And I had a lot of people that were influential in my life because they were my mentors. And one thing I learned back then that still holds true today, I don't need somebody to motivate me because I motivate myself. Every morning that I awake, when I get up and I start my daily routine, the first thing I do is I say to myself, today is a new day.
Okay.
Overnight, my mind and body has produced thousands of new cells. And since my mind and body has produced thousands of new cells, it simply tells me this, that I can learn anything, I can be anything, and I can do anything. Coming from the background from which I came, I was one of the ones that should not have succeeded. Because what? The odds basically were stacked against me.
That's right.
But just by the mere process of going to bed every night, new cells are constantly multiplying. Then the next thing I think about is, what are my goals? What are my aspirations? What do I really want to do with my life?
Yeah.
I know what society has dictated to me that my life should be about and will be about. But you know what? I'm going to make a conscious decision right now to live above all of that. As a child growing up in Montgomery, Alabama, and had never left the state until I was 15 years old.
Wow. That's impressive.
One of my mentors was Dr. Martin Luther King. And at 15 years old, he told me, guess what? You're going to Washington, D.C. And you're going to be part of the march. And as I looked at the map of Montgomery, Alabama to Washington, D.C., could a little boy coming from a small town like this ever get to a place like this? But guess what? That was perhaps one of the most electrifying days of my life.
Jay calling you, baby.
It's still etched into my memory. August the 28th,
You're going to have to call him.
1963. Being a part of that movement taught me a lot of different things. I was one of those students that was selected to be a part of the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee. We're talking about where you came from and where you are now. And as part of that, we were taught not to fight.
Okay.
See, the automatic animal instinct in of us tells all of us if somebody hit us, instantly we hit them back. If somebody says something to us negative, we say something negative back.
That's right.
But we're going to teach you a new way. We're going to teach you the nonviolent way. As an adult now, that's getting ready to have another birthday, I have never, ever been in a physical altercation in my life. I've never been in a fight.
That's good.
Because, go back to my goals. I'm clear on my goals, thus I see myself reaching them. Part of my background, part of where I came from, and I forgot to turn that off. It ain't Jesus, so I answer. Part of my background, part of where I came from.
This is not Jesus.
Only dreams, hopes, and aspirations would deliver me where I needed to be. When I went to high school, I did pretty good. But the most influential person was my mother. And for those of you that are parents today, it's okay to be old-fashioned. It's all right to insist to know where your kids are. It's okay to know who their friends are. There's nothing wrong with giving them time and curfews.
Okay.
Because you know what? It still works. And many nights when I sat there and tried to remember all of those formulas for my chemistry class, my mother sat with me. She washed my face. She made me coffee. She kept nudging me. Then finally for high school graduation, when they announced the class, my mother just automatically started praying. Because the journey was not easy. Remember,
Like
she
I feel
had
like
sons
crying.
that she wanted to succeed. Then, giving you who you are in terms of your background, she constantly reminded me that, boy, you're a Catholic. And if you're a Catholic, we expect great things of you. Now, when you get to Alabama State University, you make sure that you make this family proud. That's what I tried to do. Make my family proud. To make my relatives proud. There was always something special and different as I grew up and I saw things. I wanted to impact lives. I knew what I wanted to do when I was your age. My wife and I once went to my daughter's school to surprise her for a birthday party. And she's a teacher in Cleveland. And the students wanted to know, well, what kind of child was she? And we simply told her that she was an outstanding child. When she was 10 years old, she would bake cookies that would be burned. She would make unsweetened Kool-Aid.
Ooh.
And she would make worksheets. And all of the children in the neighborhood would come and sit on our steps, and my daughter would stand at the bottom of the steps, and she would be their teacher. And more than anything else, when I was your age, I knew I wanted to be a teacher.
Yeah.
I wanted to teach that I would set the world on fire.
Wow.
I wanted to change lives of boys and girls and men and women. So here we are 30-some years later,
Hey, that is awesome.
still working on the same dream, changing lives of men, women, boys, and girls. Did I set the world on fire? No, I I didn't set the world on fire. But certainly what I was able to do was to make a difference in the lives of those that came along this way. So today, I've come not to bring you a message of loom and gloom, but I've come to bring you a message of hope and deliverance, that you can be anything that you want to be. Because right now, you're living in the best part of history. You've seen a lot of things in your short lifespan. Take these things that you've seen, take these things that you've learned, and when you look to the east, what you see that you don't like, change it. When you look to the west, things that you don't like, change it. When you look to the north, you see things that you don't like, change it. When you look to the south and you see things that you don't like, change it, and you'll change the world. God bless you.
Oh, that is beautiful. Oh.